JBN, we keep you informed. 2 guns seized on 100 Lane, 2 firearms, a .38 revolver, and a Remington shotgun, along with 10 rounds of ammunition were seized during a joint police-military operation on 100 Lane, Kingston 19 on Monday, June 22. Police reports are that between 3 a.m. and 9 a.m. members of the security forces were on an operation when a house was searched and the revolver was found on the roof. The shotgun was later found on the roof of an adjoining house. Further checks led to the discovery of the ammunition hidden in a bag of cement at an unfinished dwelling. No arrest has been made. However, lawmen are continuing their investigations. Firearm and ammunition seized in St. James. A team of officers assigned to the St. James Police Division seized 1 firearm and 4 rounds of ammunition during an operation on Sunday. Reports from the Mount Salem Police are that about 9 a.m., lawmen were in the area when a premises in Shawn Crescent, Rose Heights, was searched and 1 Browning 9mm pistol with a magazine containing 4 9mm rounds of ammunition was seized. No one was arrested in relation to this seizure. Meanwhile, an Uzi submachine gun with a magazine containing 22 live rounds and a Lama .45 pistol with 6 rounds. Both weapons were found in a house during an intel-driven joint JCF-JDF operation in Linstead, St. Catherine. Westmoreland man charged with murder of security guard. The Westmoreland police have charged 34-year-old Rennie Springle, otherwise called Cushay, a construction worker of Broughton District, Little London, Westmoreland, with murder. Pringle is implicated in the Tuesday, May 19 death of 22-year-old Brian Gray, a security guard of Love Lane in West End, Negril. Gray was reportedly at his gate with a family member when Pringle approached on a motorcycle and allegedly shot him several times, killing him. Following police investigations, Pringle was apprehended on Wednesday, June 3, and charged last Wednesday. His court date is being finalized. Attorney Anthony Pearson disbarred. Attorney at law Anthony Pearson has been struck off the list of lawyers authorized to practice in Jamaica after it was found that he failed to return nearly $10 million to a financial institution that had inadvertently deposited the money into his account. The General Legal Counsel, GLC, confirmed yesterday that on June 18, a 3-member disciplinary panel ordered that Pearson be disbarred. The GLC is the body established to police the legal profession in Jamaica. In a last-minute bid to retain his license, Pearson filed an application with the GLC seeking to have the decision of the disciplinary panel put on hold. However, the application was refused yesterday afternoon. On October 12 last year, Pearson was found guilty of professional misconduct, the GLC confirmed. Pearson is the latest in a string of attorneys who have been disbarred in recent years. Others include Harold Brady, Jennifer Macedo, and Miguel Lorne. According to the complaint lodged with the GLC, Pearson represented a client in the purchase of a house through Victoria Mutual Building Society, VMBS. It's reported that VMBS deposited just over $13 million into the attorney's account, $9.9 million more than was required to complete the transaction. Despite several requests, the money has not been returned to VMBS, according to the complaint. Since the start of the year, 3 attorneys have been struck from the list of lawyers authorized to practice in Jamaica. 4 others have been found guilty of professional misconduct. Among the lawyers struck off this year is Howard Letman, who was ordered disbarred 3 times. A total of 7 attorneys were disbarred last year. Man charged with killing brother. 24-year-old Condivi Brown has been charged in relation to the stabbing death of his brother in Bryan's Land District, Spalding, Manchester, on Thursday, June 18. Dead is 28-year-old recording artist Damien Petgrave. According to the police, about 9:45 p.m. on the day in question, the brothers were among a group of people at a shop when an altercation developed between them. A knife was reportedly brought into play and Petgrave was stabbed. He collapsed and was later pronounced dead. Brown was subsequently arrested and charged. His court date is being arranged. Jamaica should push back against U.S. attempt to sanction Cuba's COVID-19 medical missions, says the PNP. The opposition People's National Party, PNP, says it is gravely concerned about the silence of the government on the efforts by a United States legislator to introduce a new law targeting countries that have accepted Cuban healthcare workers in the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. Spokesperson on health, Dr. Maurice Guy, says he is very troubled by the lack of response given that Jamaica recently invited and accepted the assistance of Cuban healthcare personnel in the country's current fight against COVID-19. Republican Senator Rick Scott introduced the Cut Profits of the Cuban Regime Act last week, which, among other things, seeks to require the Department of State to publish a list of countries that uses government-controlled Cuban medical mission programs, and for the department to consider this as a factor when ranking countries in its annual Trafficking in Persons report. Scott has reportedly accused the Cuban government of participating in human trafficking through its health missions, a claim it has rejected. Guy says the government should make its position clear on the move to introduce the legislation. The current congressional action is a clear opportunity for the government of Jamaica to state lucidly that Jamaica stands with Cuba, as we have done in every United Nations vote condemning the embargo imposed since 1962, he contended. This move by the United States Senate is absurd and must be condemned by all sovereign nations, and the Jamaican government must use its diplomatic goodwill to push back against this ridiculous proposal, Guy added. For over 40 years, Jamaica has been benefiting from the assistance of Cuban healthcare workers, and we cannot remain silent or be bullied into adopting the political agenda of another country, he continued. Since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, Cuban healthcare workers have gone to work in all parts of the world, and their valor must be commended, said Guy. Party full of pastors to challenge JLP and PMP. Almost 80% of the candidates who have formed Jamaica's newest political party are pastors, and the man behind the movement is confident that they will win the next general election. The recently formed Jamaica Progressive Party, JPP, says it is self-funded and sufficiently cash-rich to campaign with the big boys. Pastor Robert Rainford, authorized representative for the JPP, said it was divinely inspired. Rainford said that the party was ramping up its campaign machinery and that Jamaicans would be seeing and hearing from its 54 prospective candidates as they visit communities come July. He declined to list the names of the pastors until a later date. We are very serious about listening to the voice of God and what God wants for this nation, and so we are clear of the mandate that we have to move Jamaica forward, to make Jamaica the place where God will be happy with this nation, Rainford, the party's prospective general secretary, said. Rainford, a former government technocrat, said that the party has already secured more than the 500 signatures required by the Electoral Commission of Jamaica to be registered. The president will be a possible Gilbert Edwards, a medical technologist who currently resides in the United States but will be relocating to Jamaica soon. He had a passion for Jamaica and what is happening here. He never considered himself in politics, but he was called by God to make this move to Jamaica to help with the transformation of Jamaica, Rainford said of Edwards. When you look at what's happening to the society generally, we are in a mess. We are in a serious mess, the clergyman lamented. Third parties have always failed in their bid to win a seat, much less overthrow either of Jamaica's two major political parties. Even independent candidates have won a few seats. Rainford is optimistic that defeat will not be the destiny of the JPP. The difference, I believe, with us, apart from the fact that we are divinely inspired to go this route, the Lord has provided us with the necessary resources to be able to not only be an effective party, but to be able to transform the fortunes of Jamaica, he said. Right now, our party is self-funded. We don't need financial support from anybody, and the people who are in the party are going to be paid. These are paid positions. The very person who hands out a flyer is going to be paid, he said. Rainford said the JPP's full slate of candidates will be published soon. Canvassing by the party has indicated widespread disaffection with the ruling Jamaica Labour Party, JLP, and the opposition People's National Party, PNP. Both political movements have shared power since universal adult suffrage in 1944. What we are encountering on the ground so far is that both PNP and the JLP persons are saying "Boy, we're looking for something like this for a long time," said Rainford. Rainford was terminated from his post as permanent secretary in the Ministry of Local Government in 2013 after it emerged that he stood surety for then Cash Plus boss Carlos Hill. The Supreme Court ruled in 2014 that he was wrongfully dismissed. Rainford pastors in the United Church. The next general election is constitutionally due by early 2021. If sworn in as the next government, the JPP has 4 major planks: reducing the country's debt, providing more housing solutions, encouraging stable families, and tackling crime. The party also wants a more livable wage for public servants like policemen, nurses, and teachers. The party is also seeking to increase the number of booths in the constabulary to 30,000 and to promote community policing. "We have to attack the crime situation that we have. We have to enforce the law," said the clergyman. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.